Well, hello everyone, and thank you for possibly clicking on this video. My name is Will, and this is hopefully going to be the first episode of my podcast or something like that, and I'm calling it a moment out of your day at this time. These are just going to be small, hopefully small, little, just voiceovers of me mostly. And I'm really just going to talk about kind of whatever I want. I'm going to start with mostly music reviews, but who knows, I might end up doing something different in the future. I'm doing this from, yes, my college dorm. How cringy is that? And if you hear any background noise, I apologize for that because I don't really have a professional setup or anything. I'm just kind of doing this because it's been on my mind and it sounded like fun. So, like I said, this is hopefully episode 1, A Moment Out of Your Day with Will. And we're going to be talking about an album today. This is going to be music review, and I'm going to try my best to keep my thoughts succinct as best I can. So let's begin. So the album I am going to be reviewing today is Control by SZA. I wanted to start with something that would be easy to talk about, that I know I love, that I wouldn't really have to maybe go into a whole lot of detail about, because really, we'll get into it. So, like I said, this is Control by SZA. It was released on June 9th, 2017. It received 7 nominations, and I forgot to put it did win an award. It won a BET award. I can't remember what the award was, but it did win one. And I hope you guys enjoy my very, to answer your question, yes, I am doing this on Google Slides. Do I really care? Not really. So let's just go into it. For an overall, this is a great album. I love the album cover. I love the shoots from the album. I have this album on vinyl, and it is a gorgeous green color. So I tried to match that with the background. And first, I'm going to let you know kind of my ranking system really quickly. So I've been ranking music for a long time. I know it's not something that everyone likes to do, but for some reason I just really enjoy doing it, and I'm going to try and keep this short. Of course, if I say anything about an album that you love or don't love and we have differing opinions, that's okay. Kind of am just doing that basic YouTuber spiel, but I think people know that by now. So yeah, here's my ranking. So basically, at the bottom of the ranking is the letter E, which is for repeated tracks, acoustic versions, spoken tracks, demos, things like that. The E does not apply to this album, but basically it's just exempt from the ranking because it's a repeated track or it's not music or whatever. Next, we have 0, and the way I described 0 is awful, should have been left off the album, 100% chance of being skipped, blood boiling, etc. Number 1 is a terrible track, high chance of being skipped. 2 is not a good track, skippable. 3 is significantly below average, but not horrible / always skipped. 4 is pretty below average or underwhelming. 5 is meh, average, okay, nothing to write home about. 6 is slightly below average, but still good. 7 is a good track, maybe average-ish lyrically, musically, etc. So a 7 is kind of like an average. An 8 is a really strong track. A 9 is a very, very spectacular track. And a 10 is an absolutely incredible track, lyrically, musically, and atmospherically. And that's something I really look for in a song that I want to give a 10, is if it creates an atmosphere. So now you know what my rankings are, or like what the numbers mean. And of course, take all those with a grain of salt. And are some of these reviews that I'm doing going to be biased? Yes, they are, because I already love these albums. So I just want to talk about music and have people listen to me. So, so let's start with track number 1. We have Supermodel. This is a really great opening track to this album. It just opens the album really well. And honestly, I think Supermodel really kind of entails what this album is all about. It's very honest, it's very real, it's open, and of course, throughout the album, the little spoken bits from, I think it's SZA's mom, talking about control, they just fit really, really well. And Supermodel is really an amazing song, kind of gets me in my feels, of course, which this whole album isn't that way, which is something I really appreciate. I think this album has a lot of diversity. Really, really great song. Moving on to number two, we have Love Galore, which is featuring Travis Scott. Um, Another really, really strong track that I love. It's one of the more upbeat ones. Um, and it's one of the most popular among like the fan base and among people who maybe don't know SZA as well, but they still love this song. Um, it's really good. It gets me moving. It gets my foot tapping. It makes me sing. This is a really great song. Um, yeah, that I have a lot of love for. Moving on to Doves in the Wind. This song features Kendrick Lamar, who I love. Hopefully, we'll be doing some reviews of his albums in the future. But honestly, if you would have asked me a couple months ago, I probably would have given this song a very low score because it took a while to grow on me. Um, the the song is honestly kind of funny to me, even though I love it now. Just the repetition of the word pussy is just so funny to me. And just the lyricism in this song is extremely clever. I think SZA and Kendrick worked really, really well together on this song, and it meshes and it's great. Moving on to Drew Barrymore. This is another really, really great song. Again, just really clever lyrics, and it honestly just kind of she really encaptures in this song and the next few that feeling of kind of like being the other girl and of the not well girl I mean in this case, but she is describing feelings that I think we've all felt, feeling like the second friend or the background character or whatever. I think she does that really, really well in this song. And just the soaring chorus of this song, the warm enough for you outside baby, like the repetition of that, it's really great. Just the inquiring, the asking this person if she's good enough for them, and I think that was transferred really well, really, really well in this song. Next is Prom. This song definitely gets my feet moving. If anything, this song I am always singing. It. This is just a bop track, and I cannot really describe it in any other way. Again, I just love the forget to call your mama on the weekend. You should put yourself in timeout. I just think that is really funny and clever lyricism that just kind of pops out. It's almost maybe not satirical, but it's comedic relief in some of these songs because this is a very deep album. I do believe that. Um, yeah, I don't think this album or this song isn't as complex or clever lyrically as some of the others, but it's still a really, really great song. I'm realizing I'm not going like super detailed into any of these, which is hard for this album because I love it so much. So there's not a whole lot I can say, but I hope this is coming off across okay. Track 6, we have The Weekend, which is kind of a more like downbeat kind of diluted track. Um, it's really great. Kind of it again has that theme of being the other girl, being the second choice. Kind of working to satisfy men. Working 9 to 5 over the weekend with these men or whatever her story is. And I think that this comes across really well. Again, I would say honestly for SZA, I feel like this is more of a ballad as well as a couple of the others that we'll get to. I love the thing that okay, I'm glad I'm looking at the lyrics for this because I remembered the end. I just really love the outro of this track. It is so for some reason it just drills deep into my soul the bright ideas we got bright ideas. I just love the harmony and the vocal structure and also just something a blanket over this whole album is SZA's vocals on this album are just really, really amazing, and um they're just like butter. And I know earlier on this song I talked about a soaring chorus, and she just soars over these words and just paints it in a beautiful way. But yes, I do really love the outro, the bright ideas of The Weekend. I think it's really, really cool. It also runs directly into the next song, which is Go Gina. So with Go Gina, love this song as much as some of the others. So I think it is a great song. Sorry, I had to clear my throat. Um, Pretty good. I think something SZA does really well is she somehow fits a lot of words, excuse me, into like not much time. It seems. I know people online joke about not ever being able to tell what SZA is saying, which I kind of understand. Um, yeah, Gojina is good. I don't have a whole lot to say about it. Like I'd say when I show you the scores, it's not average. But in terms of this album, I would say Gojina is kind of in the middle for me. It's not horrible, it's not great, but if I would rank them like in order, this would probably be pretty low because I just like the other songs better. So I kind of had to be a bit of a stickler on some of these tracks because I didn't want to just be all tens. I really try not to give all tens when I'm ranking things. But Gojina runs into the next track, which is Garden, Say It Like That, which is, again, if you asked me a couple months ago, I probably would have put this song below Gojina, but that is not the case anymore. Just even the opening lyric, which is "Need you for the old me," I just think it is really powerful and really striking. And I've seen people talk about how like the beginning of the song is kind of like bopping, and then it gets like really sad and real in the end. Um, it's yeah, it's just a really great song of I don't even wait, what was I saying? um, yeah, it's just a great song. Just kind of like the pain of love and you guys, I don't even know what I'm saying. We're gonna move on to the next song so I can gather my thoughts. Anyways, Garden is a great song. Track 9, we have Broken Clocks. Um, which again, this is a good song. Great song actually. But again, if I was ranking, it wouldn't be as high as some of the others. Um, really, again, a really I keep saying again, this song has clever lyrics, it has a clever vocal line. Her her voice is really particularly strong on Broken Clocks, and I really enjoy it. Um, kind of a it's just more it's like it's upbeat, but it feels a little more slow rolling, and it's just really ballady and gorgeous. Um, I like the one lyric I really do like is been about 3 years since I dated you. Why you still talking about me like we're together? I just think it fits really well with the music, and yeah, it just works, really works. Moving on to track 10, we have this song called Anything. This song, like, it's a short song, which I just realized when I was listening to this the other day. Um, this song is not as strong as the others, in my opinion. I feel like this song kind of drags a little bit, and it's lyrically, it's pretty good. I do like it in that way. Like the "Do You Even Know I'm Alive" is kind of unique at the end with the vocals and the melodic choices on that. And the ending is nice. The "Do You Even Know," and it's kind of like a little acapella moment. But yeah, this song isn't overly complicated, so it kind of fades into the back compared to the others. Moving on to track 11, which is the wavy interlude featuring James Fauntleroy. Um, the only reason that I don't like this song more is because I wish it was longer. Because it's really, really beautiful. SZA's and James' vocals fit really, really well together. They complement each other well. And yeah, it's a strong track. But when I show the scores, it is lower than the others because of how short it is. I have to make decisions here. Next is track 12, which is Normal Girl. Now, this I would say is like the ballad of this album because it's kind of along with Supermodel. I feel like this song is the definition of what this album is about. She's talking about she wishes she was the type of girl you would take home to your mom. I was just reading the lyrics there, or the type of girl the dad would be proud of. It's just kind of because she just all these wishes of of being that girl and being that person. And I think it's really powerful that this song is called Normal Girl, because I think she's describing a feeling here that a lot of us feel like, a lot of us don't feel like we're normal or we fit the norm. Which of course is not true, because, fuck norms. But, she's describing what we feel like in friend groups, or in a different large group of people, or like in a new place. We kind of feel like the background character sometimes. And that is definitely something I relate to. And I know a lot of people do. So yeah, this is a really, really great song. Something really powerful here. Next is the song Pretty Little Birds. This is track 13, which features Isaiah Rashad, this is a great song. I would say this is the most unique sounding song musically and melodically on the album. And I always get the Pretty Little Birds ditty stuck in my head, and it always just makes me laugh, because just the way, this might not make sense at all, but the way some of the melodies and the music were matched with the lyrics across this whole album, they just get stuck in my head really, really easily. Yeah, so really, and really, really gorgeous lyrics on this album, and the music behind it underneath is just beautiful. And Isaiah Rashad's verse is really great. I really, really like it a lot. All right, and then count how many times I say I like it a lot, or I love it, or think of something. And the final track on this album is called 20 Something, which kind of gives a flashback to Supermodel. It has a similar musical underscore that's similar, like I just said, but it's different, and I feel like it's a little higher, or it's something that they're connected, but not quite. Like, this is a different song. And this I would say is the sad closer of this album. She's just talking about being 20 something and not really having anything, running away, wishing she had someone, which, again, I think I said again, I'm getting too self-aware. Anyway, I think a lot of us feel that way sometimes, like, we're just kind of stagnant. We're not going anywhere. Like, we don't have anything. We don't have that person that we're longing for, or whatever. But, besides all that sad stuff, I think she gets into this very, very well. And, I really, really love that her mom closes this album with a spoken, about, that's what I think about control, and that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. And just that theme, I can't remember the middle track that has her spoken word on it, but just so going kind of expanding to the whole album, just the continuity of this album and the diversity in the flow. I feel like this is seriously one album that I know of with the best track list. Like, it has the best order of tracks. That's what I meant to say. It just all makes sense, and it all flows really well. It connects. The theme of control is so prevalent for some reason. Like, I know what she was trying to tell me, with this album. And although I did sort of discover / listen to this album much later than it came out, I do feel very connected to this, and I feel like it's a really strong piece of work. And I think, like many, I cannot wait for SZA's next project. It's been too long already, even though I haven't been listening to this album for very long. I know I love it, and I know I love her. This is a really, really great project. And something I forgot to type on here, I was going to give my favorite track and my least favorite track. So I think, oh no, I have to actually pick one. I think my favorite track on this album most of the time is Drew Barrymore. I definitely think that is my favorite track, but sometimes it's probably Garden, Say It Like That. That's also great. And I think my least favorite track on this album is Anything, probably. That is, and I'll go ahead and reveal my scores for each song. So yeah, you can see Wavy is the lowest rated with an 8.5, but then anything and oh well, I didn't realize Doves in the Wind had a 9. Gogina, anything, and Doves in the Wind have 9s because I just feel like they're not quite at the same level as the rest. But yeah, this is what I'm talking about when I say I might be biased because I literally gave over half this album 10s. But you know, I just want to talk about the music, and I think I did that successfully. So yeah, there's my scores, mostly 10s. Like I said, my favorite song is Drew Barrymore. Least favorite is Anything. Even though Wavy has a lower score, I do think Anything is the weakest track. Um, that doesn't really make sense because it has a higher score, but you know me, I don't really make a whole lot of sense anyway. I'm talking I'm talking to my computer screen like I have like 5 million subscribers and they've been watching me for fucking 10 years. Anyway, I'll go ahead and reveal my overall score for the album. So then I gave the album a score out of 10, and of course I gave it a 10. Then I added it all together. So it's a 145.5 out of 150. The highest possible score is a 150, and that cranks out to a 97%, which I think is very fitting for this album because that's truly how good I think this is. And it was funny. This is actually a re-rank. I'm currently working on re-ranking a lot of the albums that I like or that are on my playlist or on my library. So this is actually a re-rank and it jumped up. This is much higher than it was because I just think I don't know, I feel like going into college I have developed a deeper connection to this album for some reason. Yeah, so there you have it. There is my review of Control. I don't know if you could really call that a review because I kind of just said the same thing over and over again about each song. I think next for my next album, I'll like take notes on the song so I have more to say. But yeah, that was what I had to say about Control. And again, I think this is a wonderful album. I cannot wait to see what SZA does next. I hope it's soon. Um, yeah, so if you're still watching this, thank you. And if you have any suggestions of albums I should review next, please let me know. I have a couple others that I'm working on right now, like slides like this. And please drag me through the mud. Tell me how ugly my Google slideshow is. I'd love to hear it. So, again, if you're here at the end, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Thank you for spending a moment out of your day with me. Bye.